Hello, my friends, and welcome to day 10 of the MMA vlog that I've been doing this month. I got back from class. It was a good class. It was Randori, so the even lighter, very much about structure, technique, pacing, and spacing of the sort of flow of a little fight. And today was good. I got to, like I said before, throw in all of the different things that I've been learning this month. I was more successful at getting to takedowns. I was able to get positionings that I wasn't able to get before. I was able to change my strategy with different kinds of people and their fighting styles. Sort of when someone was going very slow or pulling back, I would try either making sure I stayed in and keeping within their distance as they moved backwards, or I tried also being slow myself, taking a step back, staying out of their range, seeing that they weren't comfortable with, if they weren't comfortable with going in, then I could stay out so that when they did come in, I could start acting like I was going in, so that sort of just keeping a balance, essentially playing around a little bit more. And, it's good that I have more knowledge about spacing and the dynamics of live resistance, that when we're doing these lighter, much more playful type sparring sessions, then I'm actually able to play around with things. I'm not saying that I didn't get tired at all, because, probably by the third or fourth round, I was definitely moving slower, not intentionally. Another point that I want to say I'm kind of proud of is that I was actually able to maintain the slower, more methodical Randori pace that is that is what you're supposed to be doing for this particular kind of practice, even when my partner was speeding up and getting too fast. And I took a couple hits that were a little too hard, but nothing that wasn't that I couldn't handle. I could actually deal with it. I would be fine, and I could instruct the other person, less force, more control. And of course, by the end of it, when I actually got the opportunity to go with the older students who had more expertise, I was very tired, very tight, and had a lot less control, and that wasn't so great. But I got a lot of great advice from them. I got the guy who did those heavy hits on me earlier this month with the punch and the hook kick that kind of send me for a loop. I went with him again, and there are absolutely no problems. Like I said, I didn't think that there were any problems really beforehand, not so much, and it was good because he gave me some good advice about how to loosen up and keep a lighter mentality when going into the sparring session. And another one of the older students gave me some more tips on how to do the takedown more successful, have more control in it. And that was essentially a tip on how to, once you have the leg, and I'm making a hugging motion just off camera that you can't see. Once you have the leg and it's flush against your body, you can actually step in to bring them up. And that is how you get them off balance in a way that gives you more control to actually turn. And that little bit of advice actually turned out to be extremely, extremely helpful, because I also had to do these light sparring with the head instructor of the gym. And man, there is such a world of difference between doing this sparring with some guys who kind of know how to fight a little bit, who are strong, who, know some things. Because that's where I'm at. I know some things. But when you're up against a professional MMA fighter, man, the guy was toying with me. It was basically magic. Kicks would be checked with the most unorthodox things that I would have never thought of, like going for a front kick, getting checked with twisting the hip into it. And I got a couple jabs to connect, but those jabs were like essentially given because he left his arm out to see if I would capitalize on the opportunity, is the best way that I can describe it, because I could tell that he kind of paused his whole form, his whole structure of his body to wait for that movement. And as soon as I went and got the touch, he moved right away into the next one. And I was able to I went for a single leg takedown, and it didn't work because he switched his legs as I was doing it. But I went for it anyway, got my hands around both, and he told me do the double leg. So, like, he was obviously aware, and he wasn't stopping me from doing it. He wasn't, and so for the first time in my life, without any instruction, I did a double leg takedown. And the only reason that worked was because I got that advice from the other older student just a moment ago to lift up and then over to get it to work. And as soon as I did that, and as soon as this guy was on the ground, the most unbelievable thing, I would have never expected this to happen, he actually hooked my leg in and close to his body using his heavy glove, and I couldn't get my leg out. I couldn't get my leg up and away. I couldn't move because he had grabbed my leg from the ground. And that's not something I would have ever expected, which means there's so much left that I don't expect. And once I did get my foot away, he had actually already hooked my other leg with his foot so that he could twist his body into position to hook my other foot with his other glove in the exact same way. There is a world, an entire universe of difference between professional fighters and people like me who kinda know how to fight, because you will just be played with by those people. And they know everything that they need to do to keep you out of range, to get into their range, to block, etc. But it's a sign of a good teacher who takes the time to show you exactly what they're doing and what you're doing when that's happening, so that they can correct you. It was a very valuable experience, and tiring. But I did not stop for a single round. I definitely fell to my knees and breathed during in between moments, got completely winded, but I got back up and I did every single round today, and that is still also an improvement. At least an improvement that I can tell from what we were doing at the start of the month. That was the royal we. What I was doing at the start of the month. So tonight I'm not going to be going back because in terms of rest, in terms of recuperation, I think I need a little bit more of it. On Saturday morning, again, part of the move, I had to basically deconstruct my recliner and my couch because they weren't in a good enough condition for resale. The Salvation Army basically showed up and said, hey, no, we can't sell this. We could throw it away for you, but it would cost us money, so we can dispose of it our way. It will cost $30. And I'm like, Actually, that doesn't sound like something the Salvation Army does. That sounds like something you, as the movers, are kind of proposing, but you're being super cryptic about what you mean by your way of disposing the couch. So I just decided, I don't need to spend $30. I can spend something else. I can spend labor on getting rid of this couch, and but my trash takeaway service does not just take the furniture, so you need to break it up and actually fit it into the dumpster. So that's what we did. I didn't have any help at the start. I had my friend Will, who was going to come over and help me after he got done with his morning Tai Chi. He is recently a veteran of the United States Air Force. He just retired, so congratulations him. And I didn't actually get to attend his retirement party, so instead I thought, a demolition session of my couch would be a fun gift. And it was. It was actually really fun. I did take a video of it. No, it will not be posted on YouTube. It was spread around just for the friends and the family that want to see it. So sorry, guys. Not for you. But breaking down the recliner with just my regular hammer, that was tiring, and in a different bad way, because there's no good leverage to get on something that is recliner shaped. There's a lot of metal bits that you can't break apart. Maybe you bend them with a good enough hit, but you can't really get them apart. And there's a lot of springs which will resist any of the hits that you're trying to do to break the couch apart. So I think I kind of tweaked my elbow in a weird way, because I could feel it during the warm-ups this morning, and I don't think it's something really all that concerning or bad. I just think that maybe we don't, try to overwork it. Gotta be mindful of these sorts of things, especially since I'm about to leave. If I get injured before the end of this month, I will literally have nowhere to go rest and recuperate before the lease is up, and I don't have a place to live in this state anymore. So external factors, real life factors, are affecting what I decide to do in terms of my training. So yeah, that's it. But Will did buy a big ol' 10-pound sledgehammer. Not a big sledgehammer, but a good one, to break up the second couch. So that one was significantly easier, and maybe a little more dangerous, but it was still fun. But that's everything that I have. Nothing particularly new. We'll really wait to see if I have that whole, if my prediction of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu session coming up this week will actually happen. Part of me hopes it does, because I definitely want more instruction on that, because it's one of my blind spots in my training. But part of me also kind of just doesn't want to, because it's a blind spot in my training for a reason, in that I don't really like to do it as much, which is why I should be doing it more. Oh well. But that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. All of the YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe, share, tweet, Facebook, etc. Email me. I'm sure I have an email out there somewhere that you can find. If you do, email me. I may or may not respond. Well, I hope you have a great day, and remember, stay true.